Okay. In any case, let's take a look at the news story here on ICE and someone from Caroline Leavitt's immediate family getting arrested for deportation.
Welcome back to ABC News Live. First, Homeland Security confirms ICE arrested a woman a source says has a connection to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Meanwhile, refugees admitted into the U.S. during the Biden administration could be in jeopardy of losing their legal status. Immigration reporter Armando Garcia and Justice reporter Luke Barr are here for more on that. Armando, what's the latest on this woman ICE detained, and what's her connection to Caroline Leavitt?
Well, this is her nephew's mother. DHS has forcefully described her as a criminal illegal alien, saying that she had a previous arrest for battery and overstayed a visa, presumably when she came to the United States when she was a child. Her lawyer is pushing back on some of these claims, saying that she had absolutely no criminal.
If you come here illegally, your ass is GTFO. That doesn't even make like any grammar sense. If you come here illegally, your ass is get the fuck out. Why so hard to understand? Says Griff. First message in the chat. Very simple. If someone has done no crimes whatsoever and they're just a normal functioning part of American society, there is absolutely zero reason to deport them, especially if they were 6 years old when they came to the United States of America and know nothing but America. They are American. Okay? And there is not a single good counter narrative to this, okay? And it's not even unpopular, for the record. We are talking about people who are, in most circumstances, parents of American citizens, married to American citizens, are just normal functioning members of society. Okay? I would go so far as to say that they are probably better than you. Okay? They are probably a better individual than you are, and probably more important for American development than you are. In most circumstances, they fulfill a role that is needed. You don't. Okay? And I know for a fact that you don't, because you're sitting in this fucking chat anonymously chirping about some of the most vulnerable population members, some of our most vulnerable community members, some of our most vulnerable and productive neighbors. Okay? That's it. My cousin came here illegally from Europe. Now he's a Republican business owner and a Freemason and is one of the California Republicans that moved to Texas. Wait, I don't understand. Is he getting deported now or what?
Record, certainly no criminal record that would have prevented her from getting deferred action for childhood arrival status. And he's also saying that this is somebody who is now being held in Louisiana, thousands of miles away from home. They plan to challenge her arrest in federal court.
And Luke, a memo obtained by ABC News shows the Trump administration is directing U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services to review refugees admitted during President Biden's time in office. What's the goal here?
Yeah, so Diane, those who were admitted during the former President Biden's time in office will be under review, and some might even have to go through another interview. And the memo that we obtained says that basically those who were admitted and will be, they're going to look at all of those who were admitted and see within 3 months if they're, need to go through a re-interview. They're going to identify people who don't need to go through a re-interview. And let me just read you a quote, Diane, from this memo. It says, quote, "Throughout this evaluation phase, in order to make improvements, USCIS has identified that from January 20, 2021 to February 20, 2025, The U.S. Refugee Assistance Program and USCIS prioritized expediency, quantity, and admissions over quality interviews and detailed screening and vetting. Now, advocates are already saying that this is unprecedented, and others predict that there might be challenges to this memo, Diane.
And Armando, a judge is now moving forward with a contempt inquiry after the administration sent 2 plane loads of Venezuelan immigrants to El Salvador despite orders to turn the planes around. What's the latest on that, and what are we learning from this?
Yeah, DOJ in court filings essentially says that it was Kristi Noem, Secretary of Homeland Security, who made the decision to continue removing hundreds of Venezuelan nationals to this notorious prison in El Salvador, despite the judge's order to turn those planes around. This is a very stunning development, a stunning case, one that's lasted for several months. Essentially, the judge is...
Cat Turd says that this is the seditious 6 shooter. We don't even know if that's the shooter, by the way. Like, that's what people are going along with. They're saying that that is the shooter. But Cat Turd is also incredibly washed, for the record. Cat Turd is unimaginably washed. So it doesn't even matter necessarily what he has to say, because he's got 400 likes. 400 likes on that fucking tweet. If you remember, he fucking fell off after he had a falling out with Elon Musk. He's got no motion. Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene is no longer following Cat Turd. It's over. It's fucking over, dude. Hang it up.
Continuing his contempt inquiry and seeing why his orders were essentially rejected by the Trump administration. As we know, hundreds of Venezuelan nationals were sent to that notorious prison in El Salvador, where they reportedly endured inhumane conditions until they were released several months later. Diane.
And meanwhile, another judge also just struck down a DHS policy ruling thousands of immigrants could be eligible for bond hearings. So what are you watching for there? Yeah,
this was a DHS policy instituted in July that essentially forced thousands of immigrants who came to the country without inspection to remain in detention during their removal proceedings. That could take years because of the millions of backlog of cases in the immigration system. But essentially it forced ICE to also consider any immigrant who came without inspection as an applicant for admission. Under current immigration law, that means that they are susceptible.
Genuine question. How can you have a system where they live in the U.S., have a job, pay taxes, and is not registered? Why do you have a system where they can be employed and taxed, but they are not considered illegal immigrants? But they are considered illegal immigrants. From an outsider perspective, it seems a bit weird. It's because you can use and abuse them and discard them. So it's beneficial to business owners to maintain this structure where it's basically like a handshake and a nod agreement. Their existence on U.S. soil and their participation in the labor market also depresses wages for everybody across the board. Their participation as undocumented workers, for the record. Because if they were participating in the labor force as documented workers, then it wouldn't depress wages in general. They'd be a part of the normal fucking labor force. So that's it. It's one of these structures that we've designed with full knowledge. Everybody knows how it works, okay? You hit a nerve. There's only one side of the political aisle who has consistently called for violence against law enforcement, has been attacking and shooting ICE agents, and has also widely celebrated the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and it isn't the right wing, you pompous asshole, says Savannah Hernandez, Sav with one N, protest coverage, political commentary, proud American, contributor with TPUSA. Benny Johnson also replied with the same zero IQ take. What is this? It's not a conspiracy. Trump really is bringing back the good old days. Just look at his latest use of the National Guard from 2017. What the fuck? You wouldn't work the jobs you're accusing them of stealing? Wait, what? Are you talking to me? Because I didn't say that. I didn't even accuse undocumented migrants of stealing jobs necessarily. They're just human beings. There's no job theft in general. What did Benny Johnson say? Kaya? Other chatters? There is not a single chatter in this community that have said that immigrants are stealing jobs. This is a very pro-immigrant chat. As a matter of fact, you're the only one who said that even implied that Chad is saying it or even used that term. What is this? Torturing your dog is also against the law? Fucking owned. Boo. Do better, Benny. You could have at least kept it relevant to what I'm saying here. You know what I mean? He got your ass? Yeah, I'm fucking owned. Off topic, but are you the one Greenblatt is quoting here at 20 seconds?
Unquote, aid that goes from the United States to Israel, particularly the military aid, gets spent on, guess what? Goes from the United States to Israel to get spent back in America, buying American munitions from American companies, creating American jobs. That being said, our relationship is not just a transactional one. Somebody who said that Israel was like an aircraft carrier that can't be sunk, like a extension of our military interests. Again, there could be a transactional reason.
Wow, he's stealing my fucking takes. I mean, I'm not the only person who said this. This motherfucker has the audacity to steal my fucking analysis while simultaneously constantly saying I'm a fucking danger. Bitch. Anyway, that's not just my take, though. It's very common. I say it all the time, but that's you must be in some big trouble then, considering you broke the law live on camera. It's over for you, buddy. It's always over for me. Any day now. Hassan is finished. Any day now. Okay? Hassan is getting canceled by his audience. Any day now. China is falling apart, guys, have basically turned into Hassan is falling apart any day now, guys. Yeah. Any day now, China is collapsing. He is 1000% finished. He's 1,000,000% done this time. It's been over for you. It's over for you, buddy. Anyway, let's get to Hong Kong, because there was a massive fire that happened in Hong Kong. You are canceled, lol. Exactly. Every day. And it's strange because like the cancellations, or I guess like people who say that are just fucking fantasizing about this thing happening, but they're all on the right.
News now, and that is that at least 36 people have been killed in a fire at a high-rise residential complex in Hong Kong. We now know that more than 200 others are missing. Well, let's take you live to the scene now, and you can see the flames that have spread across all 8 blocks of this development in the northern Tai Po district. Among those killed that we know about so far is a firefighter. Thousands of residents have been evacuated to shelters, and it's unclear yet what exactly has caused this blaze. Well, with me now in the studio is our correspondent, Graham Satchell, who's across the story. Graham, what more do we know?
Well, Mariam, this is a terrible story that we've been following for the last sort of 10 hours or so now. It's a tragedy that has developed and got significantly worse over that time. The latest update that we had was from the city leader in Hong Kong, who gave us the terrible news that the death toll has risen to 36 and that 279 people remain unaccounted for. The first news of this broke late afternoon Hong Kong time, around 3 o'clock, when we first got reports of a fire this is a very densely populated part of Hong Kong. There are 8 tower blocks with nearly 2,000 flats, so you can see how densely populated it is. They're old. They were built in the 1980s and they were undergoing renovation. So they were covered in a bamboo scaffolding. And eyewitnesses say that it was the scaffolding that initially caught fire, so the bamboo on the outside of the building, and that spread very, very quickly. Firefighters have been trying to tackle the blaze all day, but it has spread from one tower to another, and we think that now there are 7 buildings in total that have been affected. 3 we think are just about under control, but 4 are still on fire. And it's difficult to say where this goes now, but the likelihood is that this will get much worse before it gets better. The news coming out of Hong Kong has been terrible, and I think will continue to be terrible.
Graham, thank you very much indeed for that. Graham Satchell there, who's across the story. These are live pictures that we are continuing to watch. You can see there, it's 2 in the morning local time, and firefighters, more than 700, as Graham said, have been trying to tackle this blaze for many, many hours indeed. And as I mentioned earlier, we know that at least...
We saw a building with bamboo scaffolding on stream. Bilibili was saying dangerous. Yeah. They said that I think people were... They said that people were arrested for it or something. I don't know.
One firefighter, a 37-year-old, died fighting the blaze, and the government has earlier today paid tribute to that firefighter, describing him as dedicated and gallant. Now, we also know from a local councillor who's spoken to the BBC that residents are asking for help from local authorities after losing contact with their relatives, their friends. Remember, this is a complex that houses over 4.5...
Yeah, 3 men have been arrested in connection with the deadly Hong Kong high-rise fire. Police say hundreds of people remain missing. Executives have been arrested. At least 44 people have been killed in a major fire engulfing apartment blocks in Tai Po district of Hong Kong, with 279 people not accounted for. More than 800 firefighters are tackling the blaze at Wong Fuk Court, with the fire under control in 4 of the 8 buildings. 3 construction company executives are under arrest on suspicion of manslaughter connected to substandard materials that may have allowed the fire to spread quickly. The fire has been classed as a level 5, the most serious level in Hong Kong. A baby and an elderly woman have been rescued as the late-night emergency operations continue, local media reports. The government has paid tribute to a 37-year-old firefighter who died fighting the blaze, describing him as dedicated and gallant. Residents are asking for help from local authorities after losing contact with relatives inside the buildings. 3 construction company executives have been arrested. Oh my God. That is shocking. I just, as an American, this actually is a very, very surprising. We have more details on the 3 arrests that we reported a little earlier. 2 directors and a consultant of a construction company were arrested by police on suspicion of manslaughter. Police said they found polystyrene, I don't know how you say that, boards blocking windows at the site, and suspect they, along with substandard construction materials, may have allowed the fire to spread quickly. Isn't it super sus that they arrested the executives? No. Why would that be super sus? Polystyrene? People are saying it's styrofoam, basically. Dangerous conditions hampering efforts to put out the fire. Remember, from what we've seen, it's just like these buildings oftentimes are in a state of disrepair and they constantly are under construction. There's also Yeah, corporate accountability is impossible for the American mind to comprehend, by the way, or the Western mind really to comprehend. So much so that like people are saying it's suspicious that they got immediately arrested. In Singapore, if you have a cargo ship and it dumps waste into the ocean, the executives of the shipping company get arrested. Guess how many ships dump their shit in the ocean there? Yeah. In the U.S., executives will be publicly grilled by Congress, then quietly let go with a slap on the wrist and a negligible fine. Barely. Kaya, get out of there. No. Corporate accountability sounds like oppression to the eagle brained. Yeah. Isn't Hong Kong capitalist? Yes. I mean, yes and no. Also, you can still have a competent government even in a capitalist country, for the record. Anyway, the thing is they have they have these houses that are very what no, I can't give you attention right now, little lady. I'm streaming. That's crazy. Kaya's sticking her tongue out at you, Onk. No, she's literally sitting on my foot. Okay. Nope. Don't deny her love. You know I'm abusive by not giving Kaya. What the fuck is going on? This is on the Twitch end, I think. Oh wait, it is here. I'm still here. We're back. Okay, that was very strange because I didn't actually have any drop off on my bit rate. I didn't have any drop off on IRL. That was a Twitch related thing. That was on the Twitch end for sure. I don't know what happened there, but I am going to. Is there a big delay right now? Delay check. Type this number that you see on screen. 4. Okay, the delay is not that big. It's like 3 to 4 seconds. Okay, we're good. Kai, get out. No, get out of there. What the fuck? She is gonna. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? I don't know what it is. It's not, my bit rate is fine. My bit rate is fine. No, Kaya, do not go over there. I don't know what you're doing over there. She's using the Conqueror's hockey. No, my bit rate is fine. My IRL servers are fine. But for some weird reason, the video randomly freezes. I don't know why. I can see it on my end. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But my internet is fine. Yeah. Chewing the cables because she got addicted to electricity? I think so. Yeah. Yeah. No, OBS is fine. OBS is fine. Bitrate is fine. The server, the IRL Toolkit servers are fine. I don't know what the fuck happened. I think it might be Twitch related.
5,000 people, and we know that over 200 are unaccounted for. They are effectively missing. We don't know what has happened to them. So as Graham mentioned there, this is just going to get worse. And we, of course, will try and bring you as much information as we can.
What the fuck is going on, man? Hello, 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 hello. Blackboy Max streams are going down and coinciding with your Fs. Yeah, I think it's a IRL Toolkit related. It's got to be IRL Toolkit related. I'm already talking to them. I'm talking to them already. But I mean, they haven't responded yet. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Internet better in a tier 3 city in China? No, this is an IRL Toolkit related issue, I think, maybe. Because I was able to swap to a different, like, I don't know. I was able to swap to BRB and it swapped to BRB. But for some fucking weird reason, I don't know what the fuck's going on. God damn it, I'm so fucking annoyed. I'm so fucking annoyed. All right, well, we're going to keep pushing. Hopefully the problem will just go away. I'm calling Twitch right now and chewing them out for you. Okay, good luck, chatter. All right.
The pictures really do tell.
Overnight, in a push to end the war in Ukraine, President Trump ordering his special envoy to Moscow to meet Vladimir Putin. Steve Witkoff will travel to Russia to present the latest draft of a peace plan.
They're going to be meeting with President Putin, I believe, next week in Moscow.
But this morning, Witkoff facing controversy, accused of coaching a top Kremlin aide on how to appeal to President Trump by employing flattery. A report from Bloomberg, but not verified by ABC News, says it's heard a recording of a phone call between Witkoff and Putin's top foreign policy aide, Yuri Ushakov. It alleges Witkoff also suggested that Russia proposes a 20-point peace plan, saying, I know what it's going to take to get a peace deal done, Donetsk and maybe a land swap somewhere. Weeks later, the president pressing Ukraine to accept a 28-point plan which heavily favoured the Russians. This morning, Ushakov telling a Russian reporter, I speak with Witkoff quite often, but I don't comment on the substance of our conversations because they're confidential. While not denying whether the report's accurate, Ushakov was asked who'd leaked it, saying, I don't know. Someone is leaking them, someone is listening in, but it's not us. When asked if he'd seen the reports, Trump brushed off any questions about Witkoff.
No, but that's a standard thing, because he's got to sell this to Ukraine. He's got to sell Ukraine to Russia. That's what a deal maker does.
Bloomberg now publishing a second call, saying it's between Ushakov and another key Russian negotiator, Kirill Dmitriev, who's also working with Witkoff. It suggests the Russians were actively seeking to ensure the Americans simply take on Russia's plan for ending the war. While diplomacy moves forward, the war grinds on. Russian officials reporting a massive attack by Ukrainian drones, seen in videos circulating online, damaging residential buildings and injuring two.
Well, a number of Republican lawmakers have charged the Trump administration with appeasing Russia, and now this morning, one Republican lawmaker calling for Witkoff to be fired. And this morning, the Kremlin clearly unhappy, saying these leaks are aimed at disrupting President Trump's peace plan.
But,
George?
Ian, these leaks do appear to confirm the initial suspicions of the Europeans and the Ukrainians that the initial plan that was put forward favors the Russians.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of finger pointing. The Russians seem to be very clearly saying it's not them. They're clearly unhappy, and they've been unusually vocal over the last 12 hours or so about this. So you have to ask the question, who else is capable of listening into a private call that comes from within the administration to the Kremlin? And people may well start to look closer to home. George?
Ian, panel, thanks very much.
And we have breaking news. The new
Apparently, Trump hasn't learned that the Russians are the toughest negotiators known to man. I mean, Donald Trump loves Vladimir Putin. Might be joined the wrong chat. We already covered the Witkoff transcripts yesterday. Let's see what Donald Trump's response was to it, though. I didn't see that one. Reporter, have you heard of this audio that Bloomberg has of Witkoff coaching the Russians on how to appeal to you? Trump, well, I haven't heard of it. No, but let's see. I suspect that Donald Trump likes that Witkoff is telling the Russians that, like, you have to be nice to him. He personally likes this attitude around him, you know, like, oh, I'm just like a dictator. All of the people working around me, all the people working around me talk about how they're at the mercy, how they're at my, how they have to respond to my unique opinions on everything. I don't know. It's just
they're losing too many people.
Have you heard this audio that Bloomberg has of Witkoff coaching the Russians on how to appeal to you?
Well, I haven't heard it, no, but that's a standard thing, because he's got to sell this to Ukraine. He's got to sell Ukraine to Russia. That's what a deal maker does. You got to say, look.
That's not what they were saying. No, that's not what the transcript showed. The transcript showed them basically worrying about selling this deal to you, and telling what the Russians have to say to you to sell this deal to you. But the reason why he likes this, is because this makes him look powerful in his mind. You know, oh, all the Russians, they're even though the terms of the negotiated agreement are favorable to Russia, ultimately this makes him feel like he's more important than he actually is, because he's an egomaniac first and foremost.
They want this, you got to convince them of this. You know, that's a very standard form of negotiation. I haven't heard it, but I heard it was standard negotiation. And I would imagine he's saying the same thing to Ukraine, because each party has to give and take.
So you're worried that he's too pro-Russian?
They're losing too many people.
Have you heard this audio that Bloomberg has of...
Yeah, this is standard in negotiations, guys. Is a totally standard negotiation technique when you have to tell the other side that you're negotiating with that they're at the mercy of your whims, and they must abide by whatever the fuck your needs are at any given moment. And that even if the terms are not favorable, to you, ultimately, as long as the opposing side is saying you're the best, then it's good. I saw the Wickoff transcript Bloomberg had. It is completely unremarkable, and frankly, Trump is right here coaching a counterpart on how to sell something is often part of the negotiation. Question is, who leaked this and why, and what was their agenda in trying to twist it? No, I don't think it's normal. The fuck? Steve Wickoff and Trump are a unit. Having spent way more time than I would like to recall studying Kissinger call logs around much higher stakes negotiations, I can tell you that this is run-of-the-mill. Wickoff is no Kissinger, but the tactic is common. They're on the same side. They are on the same side in this instance. Why would two people on the same side tell the opposing side how one of the two people on the same side have to be convinced? Maybe in a business deal, but this isn't geopolitics. It shows that Donald Trump is operating on a separate, operating with separate interests than, I guess, the rest of the American team is. Anyway. Yeah, the Georgia prosecutor dropped the election interference case against Trump and others. Big W for Trump. I'm just going to skip that one. I don't really care about that. FDNY commissioner says faith is a factor in leaving role after the Mamdani win and says it's an emotional decision. I mean, this guy was already fucking bad news anyway, but let's take a look.
New York, with the largest police and fire departments in the country and a more than $100 billion budget, New York is a very tough city to govern, and it can be even more so when incoming Mayor Zohran Mamdani has apologized for past calls to defund the police.
Another fake win for the admin. Okay, that's what that is.
Last week, in a closely watched decision, Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch said she had accepted the mayor-elect's offer to stay in her job. But Fire Commissioner Robert Tucker announced his resignation effective December 19th, just hours after Mamdani was elected. Both leaders are Jewish, and in his first interview since deciding to leave, Tucker told me his faith is...
Dude. Barry Weiss at it again. Okay? This guy is notoriously corrupt. The very fact that you guys are interviewing him directly, the very fact that CBS News is interviewing him directly as though he is some sort of like consequential figurehead in this admin and has like serious gripes with Zohran Mamdani's incoming mayoral administration is so fucking pathetic and so stupid. Okay? Oh, it's my religion. My faith is a factor in leaving the role after Mamdani won. It was an emotional decision.
One of the reasons he decided to quit. Talking about police and public safety has been a little bit awkward for Mayor-elect Mamdani because of some of his past comments. Does he have some work to do still in winning over the support of first responders in New York?
Yeah, I think he has a tremendous amount of work to do, and I think it's work well worth doing.
While Robert Tucker's police counterpart, Jessica Tisch, is staying on.
I respect her.
Oh my God, brother. What is this fucking dumbass news piece, man? Oh my fucking Lord. Oh no, dude. We have to hear from every person. We have to hear from every fucking person that thinks Zoran is bad. And especially if they're Jewish, okay? Like, what are we doing here? Oh, your faith is what guided you. Your faith is what motivated you. Oh, no. Oh, no.
For the decision to stay, and I know she respects me for my decision to leave.
The fire commissioner submitted this brief letter of resignation 1 day after Zoran Mamdani won New York City's mayoral election.
To what extent is this decision of yours about being a Jewish New Yorker?
Yeah, I think it's a factor, no doubt. And I don't want to tell you that it's the only factor, but I believe that the things that I have heard the mayor say would make it difficult for me to continue on in such a senior executive role in the...
What the fuck are you... Bro, I don't think these guys realize this kind of shit, like this kind of like tying this back to your faith or whatever, doesn't actually make Zoran look bad at all. It just makes you and the entire religion look bad for the onlookers. Also, it's additionally funny because he is like a notoriously corrupt guy. The former FDNY chief got 3 years in prison for taking bribes to fast-track safety inspections. Okay, this was all the way back in. This was a story back in May 14th of this year. Okay. Second former high-ranking FDNY official sentenced to prison for role in bribery conspiracy. The fire department in New York commissioners are notoriously fucking corrupt. Just discovering that New York City's current fire commissioner, who is resigning over Zoran Mamdani's position on Israel, has zero firefighter experience and was appointed by Mayor Eric Adams after making a donation to Adams. To borrow a line from Brad Lander, good fucking riddance. Who gives a shit, dude? Like, why is this fucking relevant?
Administration.
Mamdani's political rise has been taken as an ominous sign by many Jewish leaders.
Zoran Mamdani has contributed to a mainstreaming of some of the most abhorrent anti-Semitism,
who point to, among other things, his opposition to Israel as a Jewish state.
Look, it's a complicated, emotional decision to...
Brother, you are the commissioner, or were the commissioner of the fucking fire department in New York. Okay? What the fuck are you talking about? His opposition to Israel as a Jewish state? Like, this in and of itself openly shows that you are not capable of doing this job anyway. He's not a firefighter, by the way, chatters. He's never fought a single fire. He's just a guy who knows that this position is notoriously easy to win favors on, and bribed his way to getting the position after the previous guys got fucking arrested for using that position to fast track building permits without proper fire safety inspections. Notice how being a Jewish leader has never been an Islamic issue, but the other way around is a Jewish issue, yet somehow Muslims are the intolerant ones. It's not even. It's not even a thing. These are fucking dipshits who think they can masquerade, who think they can carefully craft an Islamophobic narrative while shielding themselves and making it seem as though this is a disagreement in their faith. Can you imagine a Muslim fire department commissioner turning around and being like, yeah, oh, our mayor's a Jew? Sorry. I can't fucking do that. Did you already cover the Barry Weiss clip about you? Yes, I did it yesterday. Like, can you imagine? That would be fucking insane. Also, this has nothing to do with Judaism. This fucking dickhead is just simply saying that it has something to do with his Jewish faith. It's ridiculous. It's insane. And I think most people don't actually look at this and go, wow, well, this actually lends credibility to the fears that a lot of Jewish New Yorkers feel about Zohran Mamdani. No, it makes people go, okay, what's up with these Jews? That's what people say. It breeds anti-Semitism. Okay? For the onlookers, they look at this, who aren't brain broken by pro-Israel sentiment. The onlookers that look at this go, what the fuck is this guy saying? What's up with Jews is the question that they ask. That's how you become more hostile to Judaism, Jewish people in general.
But ideologically, there's no doubt that the mayor and I disagree on some very fundamental things to me.
Tucker.
Yes, Zohran, as the Islamic-style jihadist, wants fires to continue burning. I, as a Jewish commissioner of the fire department of New York, obviously don't want fires to continue burning buildings. This is the fundamental disagreement that we have.
And others aren't convinced by the mayor-elect's words of reassurance.
I will be the mayor who doesn't just protect Jewish New Yorkers, but also celebrates and cherishes them.
More importantly than hearing it, we want to see it. And, you know, there was an example very recently on the Upper...
Brother, do your fucking job. Literally, your faith has nothing to do with you doing your fucking job. What the fuck is this conversation? Dude, it doesn't matter. No matter what I say, obviously, Zionists are not going to listen to me because a big part of Zionism revolves around Islamophobia. And you know, my background, it becomes a filter for many Zionists. Like, they just literally will refuse to hear me say this. Okay? But this kind of pairing is not working anymore. The faster you realize that, and the faster you craft a new narrative, the better it will be for all of the Jews who aren't Zionists, who aren't as fucking invested in the state of Israel being an ethno-state. Okay? I know you don't care personally, but I'm sure you have relatives that are going to be falsely maligned in this regard. It is so fucking stupid. It's like if a Muslim candidate or a Muslim New York police department commissioner and a fire department commissioner was running around being like, as a Muslim, I think the criticisms against ISIS are very Islamophobic. I can't believe it. As a Muslim, I can't work with a Jewish mayor. As a Muslim, I can't do this. As a Muslim, I can't do that. Why is everybody being so Islamophobic against Al-Qaeda and ISIS? Okay? That's the way people read it, because people don't fuck with Israel anymore. Any Jewish Zionist that runs around claiming all Jews are Zionists, is actually doing a disservice. Okay? They are doing a disservice. They are making Americans and everyone else that's tuning in that hasn't had their brains cooked by Zionism in general, who are, the majority position now is anti-Israel. They're making all those anti-Israel people go, okay, I guess all Jews are Zionists. All right, well, then, I'm against all Jews now because I'm against Israel. Like, this is a ridiculous thing to say and do. What about you? People starving while you earn money? You're right. You're right. I should not be earning money when other people are starving. You also earn money while people starve, for the record. Everybody does that. This is not a normal standard to apply to any human being, I think. Very confusing. But thank you. Thank you for the incredible retort. Oh my God, Farley. Oh my God. You're right. I'm quitting this job. Joke's on you. I don't earn money. I'm an unpaid grad student. Every dollar ever made was done while people are starving. Literally. That doesn't even make any sense. Why do these guys never have a follow-up?
East Side.
Park East Synagogue.
Yeah, Park East Synagogue.
In a protest last week outside a synagogue hosting an event to support Jewish immigration to Israel, activists shouted threats. A Mamdani spokesperson was
What's
later...
your problem with Jews having their one country? I mean, where do I fucking begin? I'm anti-ethno-state no matter what, especially when the ethno-state is designed and built on top of indigenous land where there were non-Jews living there alongside Jews. You know? I have a very controversial opinion on this matter. It's called I'm anti-fascist and anti-ethno-states in general. Okay? And before you say Japan, I don't have any disagreements there either. Japan is literally cooking itself alive at this point because of its incredibly xenophobic anti-immigrant attitudes. So, you know, it's bad. Anytime Israel mentioned on the chat, some of the stupidest fucking motherfuckers come in to be like, well, what about this? What about that?
Quoted saying he discouraged the language, adding in an apparent nod of support to the protesters that these sacred spaces should not be used to promote activities in violation of international law.
You know, I don't know that the public has heard appropriately from him.
What could he have done?
Look, I think he could have come out very quickly and condemned the behavior and some of the rhetoric. But again,
by not doing it, what are your concerns?
Yeah, I'm less worried about what he didn't do and more worried about him, you know, realizing the
Not the Japan gaslighting? What do you mean? Y'all need to get that distinction. True, but several countries doing that, if not all, right now. Not the Japan gaslighting. It's gaslighting to say that that Japan notoriously has a self-defeating mentality about maintaining some kind of ethnic and national purity. That's not gaslighting. That's just an accurate reflection of events. I say this as someone who loves traveling to Japan. Okay. How did Japan become Japanese? How did Turkey become Turkish? How did Israel become Jewish? Genocide is the answer in all three cases. Yeah, the difference, of course, is that this is currently ongoing. You know? Like, we can talk about the legacy of the death and destruction that the Ainu people faced in Japan. Okay? Turkey also isn't a, you know, Turkey is not a religious ethno-state. And I would say neither is Japan. It is an ethno-state, however. Regardless, this is not only happening currently, but it's also happening with American support. There's interviews too annoying freaks saying yes to each other meme. Yeah.
enormity of his job.
Inside headquarters in Brooklyn,
This is the nucleus of how we run the department.
where the FDNY
What?
coordinates
I feel like it's being
responses to
exaggerated. It's reaching a little. That's never the answer. Why would that be the answer? God, some of us are still fucking mammals. What are you saying, Turbo Granny? Yeah. There's a hit piece on Zohran Mamdani. Tucker knew he was going to be fired because he's an unqualified hack. 6 weeks before Tucker's appointment last August 8th, employees of a security business made political contributions to Mayor Adams on the same day. No mention of that. Yeah, it is. It is directly a fucking attack. It's a very clear cut. It's a very clear cut attack, and much like many of the Barry Weiss related news pieces, it got very little motion. This video has been up on Twitter for hours. It got 18 likes, dude. Nobody wants anything that Barry Weiss is putting out. It's so funny. Why are your chatters so arrogant and hateful, racist and hateful? I don't know. That's the funniest thing. They just like... Barry Weiss is not only getting paid to do Hasbara, getting paid to try and make people pro-Israel, but she's also failing to do so because she's so goddamn incompetent. It's really funny. But yeah, Tony DeCoppel, Tony Double Cirque is Barry's strongest soldier. Tony was already doing this before Barry came in and took charge. You know?
Agencies across America's biggest city.
You're going to miss this.
Very much.
Tucker says they're still waiting for outreach from Mamdani.
That I haven't had any personal conversations with the mayor-elect. I haven't heard from anyone in his incoming administration, nor has the department. And so I only hope that that is not an indicator of their feelings about the FDNY. I'd like to think they think everything is going so well here that they don't need to transition so fast.
Well, things are going well at the fire department. I mean, look, it's a great department. I want to point out that Robert Tucker, the commissioner there, he loves his job. He loves the people he's working.
He quit. Why would they reach out? They got shit to do. Yeah. Well, the reason why they're even doing a fucking news bit on this is because they want to do an anti-Zoran coverage. They want to do anti-Zoran coverage, but they want to do it as subtly as possible, even though this is as subtle as a fucking heart attack. The very fact that this dipshit resigned, knowing full well that he most likely would have been replaced anyway, because he was an incompetent asshole who paid for the position, is ridiculous. I cannot believe that they interviewed this fucking dipshit. They're so stupid. It's so dumb. Thank God Barry Weiss is the greatest propagandist Israel has, because she is really fucking bad. Bro, someone in the chat just says states have to do genocide to become states, so genocide is normal. No, they didn't say that, so genocide is normal. I don't think they were saying that, even though I obviously criticize that take regardless. That chatter wasn't even implying it. That chatter was saying the other chatter was implying it. Okay. Anyway. Once again, we are relying on the incompetence of these monsters. And luckily, they are very incompetent. Another F? Really? Another one? What the fuck is happening, bro? What is happening? Can't figure out if Twitch side or IRL toolkit, even though IRL toolkit shows no issues. It's back. Use a China. Okay. I had to hit the no, I hit that. 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 I did that. The black screen you saw, I did. Okay, I had to reset the ingest. So there is consensus. They all got to go. Wrong. It is extremely strong, durable consensus, says Aaron Reichland Melnick. Gallup's latest poll shows 85% support for a path to legal status for people brought here as kids, up from 81% last year and 83% 7 years ago. If you disagree, you're in a very small minority of the American public. Because the option doesn't exist. Why didn't she ever seek that option in the 30 years that she was here? Because the option doesn't exist. For the vast majority of the undocumented population, no matter how sympathetic, no matter if they came here as literal babies and speak English like a native and have clean records, until Congress acts, they have zero path to staying legally. This guy then follows up by says they have the option to self-deport and re-enter legally, where they won't be human trafficked by cartels. Support is screened to make sure they're compatible and have skills we need, etc. God, I wish you were right. I wish the people here illegally could just leave the USA and apply to come back in. But that's not how the system works. There's no line they can get into, no path to leaving and coming back, no way at all for the vast majority to ever come back. Yeah. That is not an app to re-enter the country legally. That is a program set up by the Trump admin to permit some people to accept voluntary departure, self-deport, and leave without a deportation order and also get $1,000. That's it. It offers zero path to coming back at all. Overstaying visa is not a crime, and she was 6 years old when it happened. She is technically eligible for DACA.
To the counter-cartel effort here. Criminality knows no boundaries, whether it's the United States of America and Washington, D.C., or it's the Caribbean and the Western Hemisphere. We are going to go after narco-terrorists. It will not stand. Our borders will be secure, whether it's the Dominican Republic or the United States of America, and we look forward to working with our partners to make it happen. You know, President Trump believes in a clear principle: peace through strength. You get peace by being strong. And if you're a narco-terrorist who wants to bring drugs to the United States of America, we will find you, we will fix you, and we will finish you, because we have all the rights in the world. We've got lots of attorneys and lots of intel analysts, and we know exactly who we're targeting and why. If you're involved in that conduct, we will kill you. It's that deadly serious because of the poison that has made its way into the American public for far too long. President Trump is serious about it. We're serious about it, and we're proud to be working with the Dominican Republic and other countries very serious about ensuring that cartels don't set the agenda. We do. Thank you very much. It's been a great series of meetings.
Thank you very much. Johnson & Johnson family better watch out. Yeah. All right.
To D.C. And so there would be a fairly significant likelihood that these guardsmen would have been deployed from the Eastern Panhandle.
This is going to be another Russia will not invade Ukraine moment when it comes out Cash actually did do it. Okay. I'll take it. Okay. I'll take it. What am I supposed to do at that point? You know, that chatter's going to come back with the utmost vindication, even though he said it was conspiracy lunacy. I haven't heard of this until now. Are they blaming the radical left, perchance? Depending on whose perspective we're operating off of, they're not immediately insta-locking blame to the radical left. They're just blaming the 6 radical Democrats who are not even radical, nor are they a part of the left. They're blaming the 6 Democratic lawmakers that came out last week and did a video saying like the military, active duty service members have a duty to protect the Constitution and follow the laws. And they have an obligation not to follow unlawful orders. So they're
state potentially even
going
other
with
injuries.
that. I do not have any further information that I can share with you, but what I can tell you is that there's an army of people here in West Virginia that are praying for their recovery, and we're hoping for a Thanksgiving miracle.
And have you been able to be in contact with their families at all?
I have not been able to be in contact with their families. I spend a lot of time with Guards members here in Charleston, and I've been in contact with a myriad of my Guard friends, and I've reached out to the TAG here in West Virginia, and I can assure you the resolve is steely.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth just a short time ago said that the president is requesting an additional 500 National Guard troops be deployed to Washington, D.C. Do you believe that's the right response in this moment?
Yeah, it's not my job to judge the response from the president. He is the commander-in-chief. If he believes that is the best way to keep our nation's capital and our service members that are serving there safe, then we will defend his actions.
If an additional 500 were deployed, do you know what the chances would be in terms of how many could potentially be from West Virginia?
I don't know how many would be from West Virginia, but I do know that there are Guards, men and women here in West Virginia that would jump at the chance to try to secure a city where 2 of their own have been brazenly ambushed and attacked in broad daylight, merely blocks from the White House, in a city where every American is supposed to be able to feel safe, to come to, and to do the business of the government. And that is a crucial, incredibly crucial mission. And the folks here in West Virginia, when asked to serve, will serve, and they'll serve in the way that their commander-in-chief asked them to.
As we just learned in the press conference, the mayor said that she had briefed Attorney General Pam Bondi. She said that when she spoke with the Attorney General, she was actually on the phone with the president. And also this would be given their complete attention. We, of course, heard very strong words from the director of the FBI there. How can, if at all, how could your state help? Kash Patel, of course, noting this is, all hands on deck, that all agencies are working together.
Where are you going?
Yeah, I think we will respond in whatever way it is that we are asked. But I think crucially and most importantly right now, what needs to happen is that every West Virginian, all 1.8 million of us, and every single American needs to be praying for these 2 families. And we need to really be taking a long look at where we are in a country where somebody would ambush 2 service members in our nation's capital in broad daylight in what appears to be a targeted attack. And these 2 service members' lives will not be forgotten. Hopefully they will get to be with us for a long time longer. But this attack is something that will be remembered for a very long time.
It is an important message, certainly on this eve of Thanksgiving as well. Attorney General J.B. McCuskey, thank you for your time, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for your thoughts and prayers, and to everybody out there, thank you.
Is this Gen Z's 9/11? Dude, the way that Gen Z operates, is like there is no there will never be an incident, I don't think, that Gen Z will ever consider seriously. I mean, look at what happened with Charlie Kirk. This is in and of itself definitely isn't anyway, but I mean, look at what they're doing with fucking Charlie Kirk right now. Look at what they're doing with Charlie Kirk. They're Kirkifying everything. And that took like a month. It took like a month for them to memify Charlie Kirk into the ether. Gen Z and Gen Alpha have zero fucking chill. They do not care about anything. All right. Well,
the glass from the bus shelter is shot out. They struggle to get the gunman down on the ground and handcuffed. Secret Service.
Yeah, Gen Z was out in the streets of LA taking selfies with me while the LAPD was firing fucking tear gas at us. That's the level of chill that they're on. Is the dog all right? No. No, she's tortured every day. Every single day. You are not Charlie Kirk. Yes. I'm actually very happy that I'm not. I've spent an entire career not being Charlie Kirk. Being the opposite of Charlie Kirk in every respect.
Who, although they are from the National Guard, were assigned to a law enforcement mission as part of the DC Safe Task Force. So now...
Why are we getting an influx of weird comments today more than usual? I don't fucking know. There's probably another video that... There's probably another slop tuber video that did LeBron numbers on the timeline, and people see that and they go, I am reminded of this person that I despise. I must go into his broadcast. Gen Z trauma suppresses, adapts and evolves to every situation. You cannot stop those dudes from vaping, nicotine, and weed and loitering. Yeah. There's also, during the holiday season, there is always an influx of like some fairly sad comments, at least in my experience year over year. All right. We're going to move on from this for now. And if there are new developments, I will update you on it. I just see someone asking if your dog was okay, Lamau. Yes, you did. You did hear that. Anyway, I'm a younger Gen Z and went to school a few miles from Uvalde. We experienced a lack of care for the students, and I've noticed that my then classmates making nihilistic jokes. Yeah, we've bricked the collective consciousness of the younger generation by our lack of interest in caring about their ailments, caring about solving any of their problems. And then also, More Pegasus made a dozen videos about you in the past few days. I love that guy. That guy is my favorite YouTuber, honestly. He's the best in the business. Every other day, there's another Hassan is finished video that comes out of those guys. It's fucking. Hopefully, I'll put his kids through college if anyone actually is stupid enough to have sex with them. And then their kids won't be just as dumb as their dad. Hassan is a vibe that bears love and pedos hate. Exactly. So, we're gonna move on from this until there's new updates on the issue, and then I'll get back to it and inform you about the latest on this shooting that took place. Except this story is actually really interesting. A Brazilian woman who is the mother of the White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt's nephew has been detained by ICE. Okay? The mother of Caroline Leavitt's nephew grew up here. She was brought here at 6. She went to elementary, middle, and high school here. She has no criminal record and the mother of a citizen. There is strong bipartisan consensus that people like her should have a path to stay. Ferreira migrated with her family to the United States from Brazil as a child. She is the mother of Leavitt's nephew. Mass deportation is pathological, says David J. Beyer of Cato Institute, one of the few open borders libertarians that remain. Nope.